What's going on, guys? So I just had a conversation with somebody about feeling bad after eating something you don't usually eat. And it was like, the story was she had just finished a competition, like a physique competition. And she was like, yeah. And after the competition, I wanted to like reward myself with eating some ramen. And she was like, and I felt bad afterwards. Like, I felt a little bad. I was like, I've been there. I've totally been there when you are trying to stick to something so well and you've done it for probably months and you're like, and I've done it with wrestling, especially when I was young and I was wrestling. I would, in high school, when I was a freshman and sophomore, I wrestled like 130 and like 145. And I was like, probably weighed 15 to 20 pounds heavier than that normally. So I was to cut weight a lot as a freshman and sophomore. And then after the season, it's almost like I felt bad for eating food because I hadn't eaten that food so long, and the reward for not eating food was making weight and winning matches and stuff. So I was like, man, let me check to see if there's any like psychological phenomenon in this, because I know other people deal with this too. And I want people to realize like, hey, you're not alone when it comes to like, if you think, hey, if I eat one cookie, I'll go off the deep end and I'll eat 1,000 cookies. And I have my favorite dessert that I've probably ever made, that I'll tell you after everything. So one of the psychological concepts is called the abstinence violation effect. Okay, I'm going to tell you what it is. It's a phenomenon in behavioral psychology where after breaking a self-imposed rule, like a diet, a person feels guilt, shame, or failure, even breaking it just a tiny bit. And I've been there. I think we've all been there. If it's like, hey, I'm not going to eat bread for 2 months or 3 months. And then you're like, oh, like I just want a piece of bread, and you have like one piece and you feel bad. All right. We've all been there. It's not the end of the world. Just know that it's natural to feel bad. Okay. The abstinence violation effect can actually increase the chance of future overeating or giving up completely. So I'll give you an example. When I was training to be like an Olympic rugby player, like that was my goal. I was training super hard, and then like Monday through Saturday, I would eat super healthy. And then on Sunday, I would be like, okay, I'm gonna go ham. Well, on this one Sunday, a friend of mine had a party, and they had some like tacos and like dip and all this other stuff. And it was like, oh my God, I'm going to go ham on all this. And at the time, I just like ate so much that I was so uncomfortable. Like I had so much in my stomach that when I got home, I had to throw up to feel better again. Like I wasn't throwing up after meals and stuff all the time. It was just this one time I ate so much that I was so full that I had to throw up. So totally understand the abstinence violation effect, okay? Then we have the all or nothing thinking, a cognitive distortion where you see your behavior as either perfect or failure. So many people see that. People have that feeling of, okay, if I'm not 100% healthy, I'm a failure, right? Or it's, 1 or 0. And it's usually not like that. You can eat a cookie, you can, eat pasta once, or multiple times or whatever you need to in order to live the life that you feel like is a healthy. Examples are, if I eat one cookie, the day is ruined. If I skip a workout, I'm off track. Those are the types of all or nothing. Moralization of food, seeing foods as good or bad, and then judging yourself morally based on what you eat. So people, I'm sure, judge themselves sometimes on if they're eating certain foods. Restriction rebound, a psychological deprivation. When you restrict foods too hard or too long, your brain labels them as forbidden. Wow, this is so true. I do this with dairy, honestly, or milk. For some reason, I have it in my head that dairy, like milk, whole milk, skim milk, all that stuff, just regular from a cow milk, is not good for me. Now, I haven't done like testing to see if I have some imbalance or anything like that, or like some intolerance. I have never done a test, but I eat cheese and stuff, and it doesn't do anything to my gut or anything like that really bad. So I probably don't have any intolerance, but for a while, for the longest time, I haven't drank milk. And so that is so true. It's the restriction rebound. I have basically said like, I don't drink regular milk. That's not to say I will never ever drink it, but it's just right now it's something that I don't drink. I do, like I said, eat some dairy foods and stuff, so that's not a problem for me. I like that. But I have to have like a certain reason. Like Parmesan cheese has a lot of calcium in it. So I'm like, okay, I need calcium for my bones and also for other things. Parmesan cheese is great. I'll eat Parmesan cheese. All right. The next one is identity-based self-control. This one I probably do pretty often. It says, when health behaviors become part of your identity, that is so me. I'm disciplined. I eat clean. I'm the healthy one. Why it matters. When you break a rule, it feels like you violated your identity, not just your diet. That elevates guilt and pressure. So I think that's so interesting because I think a lot, and I've actually learned this over time. A lot of people look at me and they go, oh, Austin must eat healthy all the time. But one thing I've tried to do with myself so much over the past, I would say, couple of years is do things in moderation so that I don't feel like I have to go overboard. And I'll eat chocolate or cookies or something in moderation so that I don't feel like I have to eat clean all the time. Now, what I will say is eating clean for me means like eating whole foods, drinking water most of the time, doing that type of stuff. Nothing crazy, but that makes me feel good. Because that's the other side of this coin is that when I do eat pretty healthy, I feel good, I have more energy, I sleep well, all these things. But I try not to say like, oh, if I eat this cookie or this brownie, I'm a terrible person. People are gonna think less of me. Because I do it often enough now to where it doesn't bother me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have some of these chicken fingers because the kids are having some and I'm hungry. I haven't eaten a lot of protein today. Anyways, so that's interesting. Don't allow yourself to say like, my diet is who I am and I have to be that or I can't be who I am. So I think that's important. Ego depletion plus rebound guilt. Okay, what is it? Using too much strict self-control drains your willpower. When you finally relax, you feel like you failed, even though your brain just wanted to balance. So interesting there. All right, why this happens most to high performers, and it says like you, people who value discipline, consistency, and health, especially founders, military backgrounds, and athletes, are more likely to feel this guilt because you hold yourself to a high standard, you associate discipline with success, you fear slipping, not slipping on the ground, but like slipping backwards. You see relaxation as a threat to momentum. You're used to structure and rules. This is why something as simple as ramen or dessert triggers that internal tension. So interesting. I think when I was mid-20s, I really dove into psychology because I wanted to know more about why I thought the way I did and to understand everyone else around me. Because I thought I was like so weird, and I probably still am a little bit. But I couldn't understand why other people did the things they did. So I really dove into psychology and those types of books. And I find this to be very helpful because understanding why we do the things we do gives you the clarity to go, okay, my diet isn't my identity. And if I have a cookie, that doesn't mean I'm a terrible person. So that's it. I think that was super helpful. I'm gonna tell you about the one dessert that was incredible. I'm actually gonna do a couple desserts coming up this week. One is bacon wrapped dates and the other one is croissants with cookies. I'm excited about that. But anyways, one of the coolest desserts I ever made was, I was like right out of college. I was like 23, 24. And it was my treat day. It was Sunday. And I had been eating really, really clean all week. And this dessert, I made it for breakfast, essentially, like for lunch kind of. But what I did was I took like 2 sticks of butter and I took a pan. I melted the butter and I put it on the bottom of the pan first. Then I took cinnamon Pop-Tarts and I got like a whole box of cinnamon Pop-Tarts and I layered the bottom on top of the butter with the Pop-Tarts. So butter, cinnamon Pop-Tarts, and then I actually put like Reese cups and M&Ms, peanut butter M&Ms over top of the Pop-Tarts. And then I mixed together some brownie mix and poured that over top of the Pop-Tarts. And I think I even put like Oreos down too in the underneath the brownie mix. But essentially I baked this all together probably for like 45 minutes to an hour and ate half the pan. And it was so good. It was so good. I'm gonna have to do it some other time at some point in my life. Not anytime soon probably, but need to try it, bring that to a party and see what people think. But anyways, if you try that, let me know how it goes. Send me a picture. I want to know what you think. That's all I got. I really, really enjoyed I enjoy talking about this stuff with people who've been through it because you can be like, I've been there. I felt so much pressure to eat healthy, to stay on my diet, because it's gotten me to where I am. It's who I am. But you need to take a step back sometimes and look at food as an experience sometimes and be like, you know what? I want to have this experience. It's not going to completely derail me. And just because I skip a workout or sleep in one day, that doesn't mean I'm a terrible person. Okay, guys? That's all. I hope that's helpful. And I hope those psychology terms are helpful, I will put these in the show notes of the podcast here, and hopefully it can help. All right. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Get after it.